It was once popular. It was like.
Anywhere around. You know, I went back and looked after the hearing, and I was like, dude,
My phone's in my pocket.
so
That is
there's a good chance now having them again with us.
We can laugh because we're in church.
I know, that's the good part. We don't have to listen to it.
No. Like, people have asked me to say other really egregious things, and I don't want to, because it still doesn't impact me. But I'm also like, so there's not, like, we have the lights on, like, you're not going to hear you.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to happen. They can say whatever they want. They're getting it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have thought about, I would promote my dad.
We saw you speak at the time.
Kind of like they're really ridiculous things. Like
So he was at
have you seen that? And I'm like, maybe governor for concerns. So I think I should probably say, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
and just like, I don't know what they're trying to accomplish.
It's a process.
They must, like, I don't know.
Just don't. I mean,
Have some fun.
not unless you know. Not unless you know. And even then, it's tough.
No, I think in that
We know.
there is like professional staff are like fairly nonpartisan. You know, there are those moments of just like nonpartisan nonsense.
In this case, it's always hold it down. Hold it.
Yep.
Stay strong. You're like, look, we gotta fight this fight.
Yep.
Always just look at the middle.
I know the lights are kind of, they're blinding.
I mean, great step forward.
I'm not far from her, like, and I know that families in South Florida,
They are watching.
like, they're like,
Weeks are just kind of like.
We met at the football stadium, yeah, with the
I don't know, after getting off the school board, I was like, stay, and like, go over the someone contacted me about this.
what's happened with you.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's going to be
House judiciary?
on the house, yeah. So it scares me. Because there's more bills.
The refuge bills.
Yeah. I don't know what else up there is like.
I just don't know if it wasn't on their radar. So many bills coming in, they're just like, whatever.
And I'm going to take some time to sit down with
Thank you all for being here.
they're going to
5. Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. you.
We're doing it.
I'm a better team
I'm trying to get like this. That's all.
I got these eclairs.
You know Warby Parker, so we're both on the budget. Hey, man, but it's a place that we can finally.
Right back at
Good,
you.
good.
Hey, twin. Hey, twin. Twin. Rion. Come over here while Henry cries in the middle. Oh, this is so exciting. We push back. And I missed you so late yesterday because 20 minutes ago I didn't know it was so unreal. And yeah, all the energy.
They're grabbing them. That I was waiting to use Dr. One of the peer providers.
But then people were like,
Yeah, but the speakers are using back office for that. I'm guessing.
she was over.
Yeah, I invited her.
Is this me? And I was like, no.
right here.
Oh my God, let's just
That's right.
He said that is
The front center.
The one who found the shiny penny.
yeah, pretty sure that's who it is. I think that's Gretchen.
like we need to like do like high fives. Can we get this going?
Alright, you know what?
I'm excited.
But I can.
Show up here.
I just gotta look sharp. Gotta look sharp.
How you feeling? Yep. Rep Pinky, I'm assuming that's actually the office for speaking.
It's fun.
Yeah, I don't know who else.
I'm always going to invite.
Amazing. Okay. I was like, oh gosh. Yeah, that was yeah, no, we really appreciate you looking out for our trans and gender. Alfred, get over here. Get over here, cousin. Hey, good to see you. You guys were like, come on over.
Alfred.
Everybody show up and everything.
Right here. Yeah. Stand right there.
We just
Different tones of color.
There's a nice face up in here.
My grandma used to say, I got this soda. That's the word most Wisconsin is also.
pink lemonade.
Yeah, and the curly hair.
Great.
I don't know if there's going to be a quick speech. I think it's just going to be.
I was like, you trying to trip me? I'm just kidding.
That was it, alright.
It might have been me. It's like, man. Sorry about that. Well, I was worried I was going to miss it. I'm in Minnesota, so I parked. And I don't know why. I didn't do it. Credit card. I was like, I'm just leaving it.
Yeah, left my dog.
Over there, so we're like,
If anybody's out.
like, go and call you back. They want to post on the Saturday. They're going to do it regardless, right? When they were there. So might as well be here.
I can't wait.
Every day you're standing in front of the press conference. Alright, it's for good reason.
And yeah, this for the I'm so sorry about all this.
We're There's like 2 or 3 shirts.
You know what? That's where you're supposed to be. Yeah, I like to. I think they're always doing it. Can you over here? Come on this side. Can you come up? Come stand by me. I am didn't even read it. And I'm inviting you over here because you're over there. We're one of us. We got other staff here. We got other staff here. Why not? Somebody else gonna snap pictures.
Is it rough?
Oh man, all of you.
I don't know. We
Do you want me in or out?
I'm like, you might want to get you. Get your ass over here. Yeah, that was awesome. Because I was just watching and I was like, oh, yes.
They put me right. And I don't know if you can see this.
Are you in there?
She brought a man in. We did get cooler and
I'm usually always on the other side.
I feel like you would see them better.
The other ones are like gold and
Our team.
Just like this. Just happy like this.
I tried. I told Amanda, just text me when you need
it feels like just because it took us a while to move into our house, but today we feel like we're in Grand Rapids.
Escape hatch door is opening.
That is like a very needless to say. Very similar.
You're good. You're good. Right here. This is your spot.
Yeah, you're perfect. That's great. Good morning, everyone. As you can see, we have a wonderful group here again today. And the purpose of being here is we've been signing a lot of bills. We've been welcoming our neighbors back into their communities by making sure we're restoring voting rights to folks. We're making sure that our neighbors can drive to their kids' soccer games. We're making moves as we talk about the state budget simultaneously, making sure that when we've talked about One Minnesota, we mean every single person to feel valued, loved, seen, heard, and respected in the state of Minnesota. So today, I am directing my state agencies to take action to protect and IA plus community. We want every Minnesotan to grow up feeling safe, valued, protected, celebrated, and free to exist as their authentic versions of themselves. Protecting and supporting access to gender-affirming health care is essential to being a welcoming and supportive state to the community. We spoke this morning to a group of folks talking about homelessness amongst our neighbors and our relatives, and this idea of showing grace and kindness, showing those human attributes where every single person is valued. And here in Minnesota, what this is going to mean is we're also going to be good neighbors. Minnesota is seek to provide and to receive gender-affirming health care services. And what that means is by outlawing gender-affirming health care, states across this country are working to prevent necessary evidence-based treatments. We know this urgency is real, thus the need of an executive order today. Now, I want to be clear. I can't pretend to understand what goes through people's minds. I cannot imagine the stress that families and individuals go through. But here in Minnesota, we're going to be a place of refuge to make sure that they feel safe and welcome. And I don't know what a group of people in Pierre who decide to make life miserable and more dangerous for people are thinking, but it's not going to happen in Minnesota. So to our neighbors. What this means is we will direct our state agencies to have conversations with healthcare providers now to reaffirm that this will be there. We will make sure that we will have no cooperation with states who mean to punish or criminalize. And I think it's very important, and you're going to hear from some of these experts, safe, medically necessary, evidence-based treatments. So I'm grateful to stand alongside the folks that are here, our queer caucus who are leading this important work in the legislature, and call out, there's so many allies here, but I am going to make Senator May Quaid for your leadership on this issue and the work that you're doing to codify these into law, to make them stand up under any circumstances, and long after this administration is gone, these protections need to be there. So I will encourage the legislature, take the legislation that Rep. Finke and Senator May Quaid are doing, get that to our desk, and let us sign it into law as soon as we possibly can. As governor, I'm committed to doing all of the resources and the power invested in the office of governor and lieutenant governor of the state of Minnesota is there to make sure that your children and your families are protected, are respected, are able to make the choices so that you can live that very authentic life that is only truly yours. You have our commitment today, and this executive order we're signing will reaffirm state law, it will refocus state agencies on that, and it will make sure that Minnesota's place as a welcoming, loving, neighborly state where you are welcome and will be free of persecution or anything else that we're trying to see in some other states. In this state, those things don't hold anything. In this state, hate has no home. In this state, love and acceptance is what we preach, and we will live by that. So with that, I will turn it over. At this, I'll turn it over to an ally and friend and a fierce advocate for equality in this state, Lieutenant Governor Flanagan.
Whew, I've been crying a lot this week. With this executive order, we are saying to our trans loved ones, our relatives, our friends and our neighbors, and our fellow Minnesotans, you belong safe here. We want you to be the fullest, truest, most beautiful, happiest you, to be here in our community. And we are joined by medical professionals and elected officials and community members who are saying the exact same thing. This is life-affirming and life-saving healthcare. When our children tell us who they are, it is our job as grown-ups to listen and to believe them. That's what it means to be a good parent. And when we talk about Minnesota being the best place in the country to raise a family, the best place in the country to be a child, this executive order and ultimately this legislation is part of that. When our friends and our neighbors tell us this care will help them to feel safer and happier and more themselves, it is our job to listen and it is our job to believe them. And when our medical professionals tell us that this care will improve and save lives of their patients, it is our job to listen to them and to believe them. In Minnesota, our trans, non-binary, two-spirit, gender-expansive relatives are seen and heard and loved, and they are loved for who they are. That is what it means to be a good neighbor, and that is what it means to be in community with one another, and I would argue that that is what it means to be Minnesotan. We know that there is so much more work to do, and it is good work if you can get it. But let me tell you that the people who are standing behind us, especially the young people, my friend Hildy, who has been willing to tell their story, who's been willing to fight for others, we're fighting for you too. And to just know that this executive order, as the governor said, it doesn't say that we are going to stop fighting for good legislation. This is because our trans community, our trans relatives need protection today. So I am just extremely grateful that we have a strong, incredible caucus, this queer caucus, the newly formed caucus that is just showing up all the time and every day. And I am who is literally one of the kindest human beings I have ever met in my life, who is always there for a hug, who is always there to cheer people on, who is deeply connected and rooted to her community and what she does, and inspires all of us to be better human beings and to be better leaders. So with that, Representative Finke.
Yeah.
Good morning. I'm Representative. I want to start by thanking the governor and the lieutenant governor. Adults and children that seeks to make our community disappear. The fourth straight year that we have set a record for bills seeking to erase the rights of the LGBTQ community. They are too numerous to number. There are too many attacks being made to list them here, but they are doing everything. They are doing what they can to eradicate us from public life, I believe was the most recent headline. These attacks are legislative, these attacks are physical. There is real violence, there is emotional violence, there is trauma being suffered by my community. And that's why this day is so. Our community throughout the country doesn't really get good news. Generally speaking, in the media, if they're talking about the trans and gender expansive communities, they're talking about more harm, more loss, more eradication. And statements like that are shocking and alarming, and they put our lives in danger. It's not easy to hear that you are a part of a population that needs to be erased from public life. This is who they're talking about, by the way. They're just talking about us. I don't know what they were imagining the threat to be, but it's this group of people up here, and me. But the thing about this rhetoric and these attacks that we're facing at record numbers is none of that is new. There have been political movements, social movements, cultural movements that have sought to erase queer people from public life forever. In the 50s, there was the Lavender Scare. 10,000 public employees lost their jobs. In the 60s, police raided, assaulted, abused, harassed queer people at their establishments, at their gathering places. In the 80s,